Hello, hello, hello. This is Angela Birdsong, your host of Tampa Bay Politics. We do one of these shows every Wednesday from the studios of In Touch News at 5508 North 50th Street in Tampa, Florida. And we are so happy to have with us a candidate running for city council for Tampa. His name is Jose Vasquez. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
Okay, so we always start at the beginning. Where were you born?
Well, Jose Vasquez born in Caguas, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. That's part of America, everybody.
Yes. Puerto Rico is an island since over 500 years. It's a part of the United States. We are not a state, but we are part of the United States.
Yes, I know that statehood fight has been going on for a long time.
Yes, we hope next year we can make it happen.
All right, every year, keep trying.
Yes.
Now, how long did you spend in Puerto Rico?
Well, I'm born in 1974, and I left the island on December 5th, 1999. And I left the island because I have received a phone call. My father was dying of cancer, and he was admitted on the VA hospital right here in Tampa. So on that date,
He served for the armed forces?
yes, my father was a U.S. Marine,
Okay,
full disabled.
I see.
When I received the phone call, I was working for the mayor of the city of Aguas Buenas. I had to speak to my boss because he's a executive protection driver, about my personal situation, and because I have so many days sick, so that stuff, they give me the leave to visit my father. When I came to visit my father, I'm not planning to be in the state of Florida. I just want to visit him, but he died 2 weeks later.
I see. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Well, that situation bring me to the point my father want to be buried in Puerto Rico in the National Cemetery. So when I go to do the funeral arrangements, the state of Florida has some requirements and the federal government how to do this process. So the first thing, they don't accept the ID of Puerto Rico. So they
Really?
yeah, they don't accept it. It's in Spanish. They don't understand it. So they tell me, Jose, you have to go to the driver license and change it. So I follow the procedure because I want to honor my father's wishes. And I show the document, no question asked. They do me the ISM, $20. Boom. I got a driver license for the state of Florida.
Okay.
The point is, I'm a resident of the state of Florida.
Right.
I do the paperwork for my father, and it's a special airplane who pick up the bodies of the veterans who pass away. And I had to wait for that process, so that pushed me to stay in Florida. Well, I need to make some income. I said, you know what? I need to get a job until I'm done with this process.
Where were you living?
Well, first of all, I was stay with a friend of mine, and later with a relative I met, my uncle. And right here is when come all my spire down in the state of Florida.
So that's how you ended up staying.
Yes.
And what was your first job?
Well, my first job was in the Tampa airport. In the nighttime, I was working for the company Triangle. So just thinking about this, when you're working for a mayor, and day to night, you change your profession to be cleaning toilets. So, you know.
Oh, it was a big change, a big
Exactly.
sacrifice.
But at the same time, I don't be chained because I'm Puerto Rican. I'm coming from a humble family when we know the values about the hard work. It
Yes.
doesn't matter what you study in life. Just remember your roots, where you came from. For me, it's not change.
Well, there's a lot of people that happens to. They're doctors, lawyers in their country, and they have to come here and start all over again.
Correct.
So, what did you do after that?
Well, after that, I have a situation with a police officer who confused me with somebody, with a
Oh,
career
no.
criminal.
They
And
thought you were somebody else.
yes, that person exists. The problem is my name is Vasquez Figueroa, and the career criminal was Vasquez Velasquez.
Okay.
So I got my first in situation with the police department, and I was wrongly accused,
Wrongly accused.
and that forced me to stay in the state of Florida. I lost my job in the city. I lost my family because I was separate from my wife, but I have my kids. So I lose all my vehicles. I lose my banking savings,
You
everything.
lost your vehicles, your all the money in the bank
Everything.
over this whole fiasco.
Exactly. Because a police officer accused me of reckless driving.
Reckless driving. Oh my gosh, that must be a catch-all phrase they use.
Yes. The funny part is I was driving a car was borrowed. So when the police officer asked me question about who's the registered owner of the car, of course I gave you the information of the person who borrowed me the car because I helped to buy the car in a company calling Ugly Duckly back on the days.
Okay.
But the problem is I do not have a knowledge that the car dealership do not do the paperwork on time. At that VIN number of that vehicle show and the name of a lady who live on Pinellas County. I do not have a knowledge. So when I give them information with my broken English to the police officer, he assuming that I was stealing somebody else's car.
So they also accused you of stealing cars.
Well, they're not trying, but that was the assumption, and he
Yes.
tried to justify why he stopped me. Anyway, to make the story short, I complied like any citizen, no matter what you're wrong, accuse it. I get stuck in the state of Florida.
And then, what did you? Were you able to get yourself back on your feet, get a job?
Of course, because like I say, I don't got no friends. I don't know nobody. I start a relationship back again with my former ex-wife. That don't work, but I continue the communication because my son. So I start from there. I get a car. I sleep in my car. Just thinking about it. I'm a security guard with a firearm, sleeping inside on a Pontiac Fiero.
So you became a security guard,
Yes.
and at that point you couldn't afford housing.
I can't afford it because remember, everybody want first month, second month deposit, clean background. It was a mess. I don't have a friend reference. They don't believe my history. So I get stuck where I got. I got a job, I got a transportation, and let's see how we go from there.
Okay. Well, you never believe how many people can relate to your story right now in Tampa because there's a lot of homelessness going on.
I know a lot of people, like you say, homeless, but really it's more people homeless living inside their houses right now. People who are struggle try to pay the bills, and they cannot. They need to survive.
Yeah. Well, they're one step from being homeless.
Yes. It's changing the way today the legislators do not do something to fix this problem. Something easy to fix, like give opportunity to people earn more than $15.
It's not possible really to live on $15. It's not.
It's not possible, but it's better like back on the days when you only make $7.25.
That's true. It wasn't possible to live then either.
Yeah, right now the salary in the state of Florida, beginning on January 1st, is $11 an hour. Guess what? We're still $4 short.
Absolutely. Now tell me this: at some point you started a business. When? Because you have a business now.
Yes. Well, back on the 2004, I decided to start doing my personal business because as a person make a $7.25,
It was not sustainable.
I cannot pay my responsibilities of child support in Puerto Rico. I cannot take care of my personal life
Right.
or take care of my sons who live in the city of Tampa. Because remember, I had to help to pay daycare. I had to help to pay insurance because I can afford it. So it was a lot of spare down. But
Well, this is the realities of life. I mean, we all got bills,
yes,
and the bills are getting to be more than the money we're making.
correct. What helped me to try to resolve my issue is my knowledge working in the government. You know,
Being a government employee in Puerto Rico, you had a little knowledge.
I had the honor to working for the governor Pedro Rosselló. I had the honor for working for the state representative Luis Hernandez. I had the honor to working in different trust positions in different departments. So when I say, you know what, let me go to look out for the resources I need to help myself, right here is when I start my passion again for politics.
I see. Well, Jose, I've known you for many years. I did not know you were involved in politics in Puerto Rico.
Yes. From 1991 until 1999, I was working for the New Progress Party for Puerto Rico in a trust
How
position.
many parties do they have in Puerto Rico?
When I left the island, it was only 3.
Okay.
Now it's 5.
All right, so you worked for the New Progress Party?
Yes.
Is that like Democrats?
Yes. But that party, 1991 switched to be Democrats and Republicans because the local parties in Puerto Rico working different than the traditional parties in the United States.
I see.
Yeah.
I know it's different down there.
Exactly.
So you got Republicans and Democrats in the same party?
Correct. But at the
Really?
national level, like my side is a Democrat, and I got friends that we love ourselves to death because we are blood brothers in the New Progress Party. But at the national level, we divide in some issues.
Oh, so the national level there's different parties?
Correct.
Wow, that's a little
But,
confusing.
but no, because if you tell me how this familiar with the state of Florida, I can tell you how many times the city of Tampa fight for they can make it his own law. You know what I'm saying? To keep it his own regulations. Okay, they asking the state to step away from the city ordinances. So that's
Well,
what
you're
we
talking about something called preemption, where the state can step in and deny the local government jurisdiction over their own issues.
correct. Well, in Puerto Rico, local parties
Okay.
can control the agendas,
Okay.
and the federal government can interfere with our local government.
Well, we need that here.
That's what we try to
We
push.
need that here because we got a big problem with the state of Florida. The government up there is all Republican, and they're trying to tell the people in Tampa and not only the city councils but the school boards they're trying to get involved with now. The governor's trying to put who he wants on every school board in the state of Florida. So that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Now, you have a business.
Yes, I got a business. Right now, I'm the owner of Bacchus Enterprise Multiple Service. And I got a second company calling Policy, please, no police, Policy Transport, Storage, Towing, Security Service.
Okay, so that's so we're up to today now. All
Yeah.
right, so we are going to come back and we're going to talk about your campaign. Jose Vasquez for Tampa City Council District 3.
Hey, Sebring, Lake Placid, Frostproof, Haines City, and Lake Wales. This is Teresa Hardy. Come join me at Progressive Church of God by Faith on March the 4th, 12 to 4 p.m. at our Community Outreach Fair at 1111 South Carolina Avenue, Avon Park, Florida. We have free food, and free food. Some of our community partners are Veterans Affairs, Health Department, Career Source,
number again?
910-308-3045. Don't meet me there, but beat me there.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here-for-you. Call Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer? I got the man to do the legwork for you. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida. Grab a pen or sundown. 1-800-361-RICK. That's 1-800-361-7425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy stay fine. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 1-800-361-RICK. Call Ricky. Ask Ricky is a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and giving you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
You're back with Angela Birdsong on Tampa Bay Politics. If you are too busy to find out what's going on in local politics, and you need to tune in. And today I have a candidate who's in a real tough race for city council. His name is Jose Vasquez. Now, Jose, let's talk about the city council. How many seats are there?
Well, in the city of Tampa, we got 7 seats. The first 3 seats are citywide, so everybody can
The
vote for
whole
their
city.
candidate. And we got District 4, 5, 6, and 7. These districts are divided in different areas like in north, south, east, and west Tampa.
And is the seat you're running for 3? Is that citywide or is that a district?
That's the citywide seat. In the past, John Dingfelder was the person who was elected for that seat.
Okay, and Mr. Dingfelder got in the crosshairs of a developer, was accused of using illegal text messages,
Exactly.
and the legal fees were going to be so expensive. He and his wife said, "We can't afford that," and he decided to resign.
Exactly. This is what happened when you are in the world of politics.
And you care about the people, and you're willing to fight for the people.
In the middle of that fight, he tried to do his job for represent the community.
Of South,
Something happened technically and put him in some burden, and he decided for his benefit and for the benefits of the community to step out of the seat.
Okay, so he stepped down.
Exactly.
And but we love Mr. Dingfelder, and he was fighting to keep develop a lot of development out of South Tampa, which developers don't like.
Yes, I wish he can have the opportunity, like Orlando Goods. He got the opportunity to prove that he never do nothing wrong.
True.
You know.
True.
But let's go back to the district number 3 race. Like everybody know, he step out, and it's a procedure where the people go to be appointed.
So we have they voted. The city council voted.
Correct.
Many people stepped forward, and the winner was Lynn Hertak.
Lynn Herta was the person who was selected. And remember, when we was in that process, I think over 20 people applied for the position. These people addressed to the city council. Okay, only 6 people decide who will be the next person who got to fill the vacancy. When that seat was selected by over 20,000 voters. So this is a big difference. So on the first round, I think Lynn have a tie with another person. And in the second round is when finally the city councils feel confident that Lynn Herta can fill that seat.
Okay, so now Lynn Hertag is in the seat, and she has drawn a competitor. A lot of people may know the mother-in-law of the mayor, Janet Cruz
Rifkin.
Rifkin. She's married,
Yes,
but she don't want to drop that Cruz because she wants the support of all the Hispanic people in the city of Tampa. So she makes herself very Hispanic and very well known.
that's what she say. Because this is the funny part. I'm working in political campaigns for so many years. When I came to the state of Florida in 2004, I was involved with the Democratic Party. I was fighting with the leaders of the Democratic Party for accept me because
Okay.
I'm a minority.
It was different back then. I
Yeah,
know.
I remember. I think I remember the president I met back on the days. She was a black lady on the Democratic Party back in 2004.
But you can't remember her name.
No, if I say a name, I go to me say something.
Okay,
I don't
okay,
want. I don't
okay.
want it. But when I tried to get involved in politics in 2004, I was fighting against my own party to accept me because I'm a minority. And again,
Well, here's the good news. Since then, you started the Caribbean Caucus.
yes, I become member of the Caribbean Caucus of the state of Florida.
You started it. Pat yourself on the back.
Yes, no, but the problem is for be a leader. Sometimes you have to be a follower. So I follow the step of the Caribbean Democratic Caucus of the state of Florida, and I think I speak with the president and I tell him, look, I live in Hillsborough County, and I want to open the branch because we got so many knowledge about the Caribbean needs. And they tell me, well, explain me what you know about the Caribbean community. And I tell them, well, I know the Club Tropics because I'm the head security of that club. It's a lot of people from Jamaica and Guayana and the islands who go to that venue. So I have a knowledge about how much spending the community do, how we are misrepresented sometimes because they confuse the people from the Caribbean with blacks or white or Asiatics. So,
Well, you know what? My father was born on the island of Barbados,
Yeah.
and my mother's side is from Guyana, South America,
Okay.
which has a Caribbean culture.
Exactly.
So the thing is that the Caribbean has a vast amount of people that they represent because you have the Spanish-speaking Caribbean, you have the English-speaking Caribbean, and you have the French-speaking Caribbean as well.
Exactly.
Yes. So, and it's all about colonialization, where the Europeans came in and basically took over these islands, and so that's why we all speak different languages. But they're all Caribbean people.
The Caribbean, and not only it's about Caribbean, it's people who live in the United States of America. We are taxpayers, we're working hard, and we are misrepresented. Believe it
And
or
guess
not.
what? There's black people that are from the Caribbean. There's white people from the Caribbean. There's Chinese people from the Caribbean. In Trinidad, they have a big Indian representation there. So
Yes.
all different races are represented in the Caribbean. And I think that confuses people sometimes because you see this person who is black and they speak fluent Spanish,
Correct.
right? So that kind of confuses people a little bit. But it is a big constituency there. So that's definitely something we need to work on as Democrats, is to let everybody feel included.
Correct. That's the reason Jose Vasquez stepped in, because I see the gap on the party leadership. I say, you know what? I can represent the people who feel misrepresented. I can feel the gap about delivering a message for the people who feel like they try to say something and they be shut down. So, that's the reason I get involved aggressive on politics on Hillsborough County. And I prove myself. If you want to know more about Jose Vasquez, it's very simple. Go to Google, Jose Vasquez Tampa, FL. And everything you found in Google is true. If you have any question, please feel free to call me.
Where
Because
can they call you?
my cell phone number is 813-526-9920.
526.
9920.
Okay. So the thing is, Jose, we got a big Hispanic Hispanic block of people in the city of Tampa, mostly all of West Tampa, and now the move, and of course there's Town and Country, which is not in the city, but there's a lot. So I know that Janet Cruz is depending on those people to come through for her.
Well, that's the problem. I don't want to talk too much about her because she represents a small group of the community. She calling herself be the champion of the women's. She calling herself be the champion of the LGBT community. Hey, she can call whatever she wants. But I can tell you, as a voter, as a person who support economic and listen her promise of campaign, what she did, and she not represent us.
I think that I can say that if you vote for Janet Cruz, you're definitely voting for the mayor.
Not only for the mayor, you voting for somebody who acting now as a politician, a career politician, because she only want to get benefits. And I can tell you right now, I'm a candidate. And the people donate money to my candidates for I can promote my agenda. And when you have a candidate who go to that funding and asking, please pay my cell phone case $568, or please pay my traveling expenses because I had to go to Tallahassee, and you look out, well, wait a minute, she using the campaign money to funding her style of life, and this is a no-no.
All right, let's just back up for a second and let people know that Janet Cruz has been a state senator for several years.
Yes, she was the state senator. Before that, she was a state representative. And for the record, when Janet Cruz ran the first time in 2009, we have a meeting in Nebraska Avenue in a Dominican restaurant. And I tell Janet, tell me, what is your reason for running and for me step out of the race?
Did someone ask you to step out of the race?
No, I asking her for give me reason for I step out.
Okay.
And when she speak with me and she give me her reasons, I say, you know what? I'm going to stay on the race. Good luck. That year, Janet become elected.
Okay.
And this gentleman have 39 votes. Why? Because I want the people to know I'm in the race. But I don't campaign for
Was that the first time you ran for office?
against Janet Cruz.
Oh, okay. When was the first time you ran for office?
When I ran in the first time was in 2004 against Michael Shanti
And that was for a state rep.
for a state rep. And, it was so funny because on that day they say like I not submit the paperwork. And that's the reason they automatically disqualify me.
Oh, I see.
Don't take me wrong. Michael Shanti is a great judge at these days. He was appointed by Barack Obama. He was a good legislator. It just, at that time, I do not have a knowledge who was our state representatives. Because remember, I'm a citizen who tried to understand the government looking for help. And I see my only option to get the answers is participate in the political process.
Okay, so after that race, what race was next?
Well, on 2007, I'm running from the state prison as a candidate for state representative.
Okay, so you ran again for state rep in 07.
Exact.
And then when did you run again?
When I get out on 2012, I'm running against Dan Rollison on District 58.
All right, you ran in District 58.
Again.
Okay, and then when did you run again?
In 2015, I'm running against Mayor Bohorn.
For mayor?
Yes, I'm running for mayor.
Whoa, okay.
And I got over 3,000, 4,000 people vote for me, and the only I spent in my campaign was $200.
Oh my gosh. And
Yes.
then you ran again when?
And again, I'm running against Don Rollison, and it's the year where he decided to step out. As a process, I present complaint about they forfeit the documents and I prove my point in the court. So I create a special election for the office of state representative.
Okay, was that, and then you ran when?
And that was in 2018.
Okay.
So,
And then when did you run again?
I run again now
Now, okay, so we're up to today.
Yeah, no, but
We're gonna talk. We're gonna take a little break, but we're gonna talk about your influence in this race because it seems to me like you're a little bit of a fire starter.
no, not only fire starter. I'm a person who stand up
For
teach what is the supposed to be the best for the community.
okay,
So,
you stand up for the community and you bring issues to the forefront that are not always being discussed.
behind the scenes, all the politicians look me like I'm a community person. Can the people respect me? I need your support. Campaign for me.
Okay, so they look to Jose and say, Jose gonna tell us the truth.
Yes, and when they come elected, they forgot what we discussed. they tap me on the shoulder. You're the good man. I said, well, what happened with my community? So, again, if the elected officials can go to mention from the whole group, only I recognize
So
one
you're
who do his job.
an unelected official who has a lot of power.
Under the scenes, yes.
Okay, behind the scenes. All right. Well, we will be back shortly.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecues? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
Hey, Sebring, Lake Placid, Frostproof, Haines City, and Lake Wales. This is Teresha Hardy. Come join me at Progressive Church of God by Faith on March the 4th, 12 to 4 p.m. at our Community Outreach Fair at 1111 South Carolina Avenue, Avon Park, Florida. We have free food, and free food. Some of our community partners are Veterans Affairs, Health Department, Career Source, and many, many more. For more information, call 910-308-3045.
What's that number again?
910-308-3045. Don't meet me there, but beat me there.
All right, you're back with Tampa Bay Politics. I'm your host, Angela Birdsong. And in the studio, live and in person, we have a very important city council candidate. His name is Jose Vasquez. And not only has Jose run as a candidate several times before, he has worked on many campaigns. As a matter of fact, the most prominent one being Charlie Crist's campaign.
Well, that was one of my campaigns because at the same time I'm helping the campaign of Charlie Crist, Senator Charlie Crist. I was working for the Puerto Rico Statehood Action Network, where I have the honor to bring the president of the Democratic Party of Puerto Rico, Charlie Rodriguez, in town. And we was campaign for the statehood in Puerto Rico.
Now, who is Charlie Rodriguez?
Senator Charlie Rodriguez is the actual president of the Democratic Party of Puerto Rico.
Oh, for the whole state of Puerto Rico. For the whole country of Puerto Rico, I should say.
Exactly. You know, when we're talking about that, I can bring you my history back when I started doing campaign for Alice Sink when she running for governor.
Okay. And Alex Sink came very close to winning
Yes, I got a
for governor.
I got a picture with her with my nephews when we do the commercial. Okay, my face was in the Hispanic media.
Okay, so you were helping with the Hispanic market.
Correct. And after Alice Singh, I can tell you, I working in the campaign of Andrew Gillum.
And Andrew Gillum came very close to winning. Now, we can say what we want about Andrew Gillum. However, he brought out 4 million Democratic votes.
Yes, and I'm telling you this because I'm working in different political campaigns. I'm working in local campaigns too behind the scenes because the leaders of the Hispanic caucus, they recognize they need young blood. And at the beginning,
We need young blood. That's right. We want all the young people to get involved in politics.
they reject my ideas.
Really?
Yeah, because remember, they are old school Democrats, and I'm from the new progressive movement of Democrats.
Well, I want to tell you there's another campaign you helped out on.
Yeah.
Angela Birdsong.
You know, Angela, I help in what you asked me to. I can contribute to your campaign, and I appreciate your
And
your
we
trust.
did a little caravana together. We rode a big truck through the plantation area.
Yes, different way to approach the people.
Yes, and they got the horn. They got the blowhorn, and the people came out of their houses, and there was big Spanish music playing.
Exactly,
And guess what? We won plantation.
well, because the people who are from the Hispanic community, when we're talking about Hispanic, we're talking about Central, South America, people for the Caribbeans. I don't have to repeat the history. That's the way the politicians approach us to deliver the campaign message.
Okay.
You know, and
Bullhorn and big loud music,
And
and
guess-
it works.
it worked because the people listen the message.
Yes.
And
And
they-
you know what? If you heard it, you're going to tell your friend. That big Carvana came through for Charlie Crist, Angela Birdsong. The Democrats really are trying to get the message out.
Exactly. On the Biden campaign, que we are in the middle of the COVID, everybody is insane. How we going to do campaign?
Right.
And we in the state of Florida, and I can call the whole United States of America. I was one other person working with the Biden campaign, and we create Casa Biden. And from there, we got the honor that we received Jim Biden a few times in Tampa, and the Secret Service working with us. So it's an
and
honor.
his wife Jill came by too. I
Yeah.
got to meet her.
Yeah, you know, they use our guidance to do campaign in the whole state of Florida.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So you know,
Well, it must have worked because you got votes. He didn't win the state of Florida, but he came close.
he don't win in the state of Florida, but the start of campaign was a big headache.
What was that?
For it was a big headache for the Republican Party.
Oh, because they had to spend money here.
Exactly, they don't know how to spend it, but we come with a system. It was very effective and inclusive. When Biden win, we got a
Yeah,
big
because
celebration.
I think he only lost by like 3 points in Florida. It wasn't huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much for all the work that you've done because Casa Biden is a place where whenever a candidate, a national candidate runs, they have to have a local office.
Correct.
Yes, so you help provide that local office, especially in the Hispanic community. You called it Casa Biden, and that really helps because people see it.
No. People see it and enjoying it. They have a passion to volunteer because they see this is opportunity to deliver the message. Of course, I was in charge of one area. We got Elio Muller, who was the person in charge of the whole Casa Biden, and we got Victor Di Maio, who was in one area. So this was Jose idea.
And
it
Victor
was part of the
Di
idea.
Maio has been in charge of the Hispanic caucus for many years.
Yes, Victor Di Maio is the president of the Hispanic caucus and the vice president of the Caribbean. So
Okay, he's got his hands in both groups. That's wonderful.
correct.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your platform.
Well,
And you know what? The first one I really want to talk about is code enforcement because I know that is an issue that is particularly special to you.
Well, let me tell you about what's co-enforcement for the people not having knowledge. Co-enforcement is the rules. It's something called in the money code. Okay, it's a code where everybody is supposed to stand for. That's supposed to be on the way the department's working, and everything was relative to the city. This is control the transportation, the housing, everything you think about it.
Has a code.
It have a code. So what is important for me? Because I see for so many years how the Department of Code Enforcement working against the Browns and black communities on East Tampa.
Okay, so you definitely feel that there is discrimination on how they treat minority people when it comes to code enforcement.
Correct. And I can tell you that because I'm a resident of the community, so I'm not talking for talk. I'm just telling you because I see it with my eyes what they try to do to another people. They don't have the knowledge how to defend them. So
Now, I know you have come into the crosshairs of code enforcement many times, one with your business.
yes, it's so hilarious how a person who got only 40 hours of education try to can and impose city ordinances do not apply to your business. You know, and this is the situation we got because the state of Florida create laws, the federal government create regulations, and you have somebody with a little pamphlet that he don't have a knowledge what he talking about, and they accuse you of wrong things. Right now, you remember back in the days when the Tampa police have a campaign against my friends of the black community every time they ride a bicycle?
Yes, we call it biking while black.
Correct. Well, the Department of Code Enforcement has something similar, what is called proactive officers. What that is a code enforcement officer driving around the neighborhoods and he sees something wrong, he write your ticket. Simple like that. That officer need to justify what he doing on the road, and that's the only reason he can do it. Writing citations left and right, no matter what, is not a violation file.
Now, when someone receives a code enforcement violation, they got to pay money, right?
Yes, because first of all, you'll be accused. They give you 1 week or 14 days or 30 days to resolve the issue.
So you can make an appearance in court.
Well, after you try to resolve the issue, if the code enforcement officer, the same one who give you the citation,
Yes.
he say, you know, did it, now you're going in front of the magistrate. And this person go over there and lie to the T, left and right, violating you civil rights or defend yourself. And the magistrate issue a fine. It can be $40 fine a date, $100, $500 a date.
Okay, so whatever the fine is, it's daily
Yes, but it's at discretion.
of the code enforcement.
Exactly. Do you think it's fair when you have an old lady in her 75s have a citation because the inspector don't like it and the way his front of the house look like because the paint chip? But at the same time, that same inspector see the same problem in a church. I don't have nothing against religion. And because that church belongs
Well,
to
I see what you mean by discretion. Like some people get tickets and some people don't.
No, the church get the ticket, but when we got in front of the magistrate treat the residents, if you don't correct the problem, we got to give you $200 fine a date. And when we're talking about the building from the church, they say, well, if you don't correct the problem, I'm going to give you $50 fine. So where is the difference? It's the same violation.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they have a lot of discretion on how much they can make those fines.
Exactly.
We had the same thing with suspended driver's licenses. All those fines start adding up. People can't get their licenses back. It's the same thing. You know, poor people can't afford these fines.
Well, let me tell you this. I'm a person who survived that cycle. Jose Vasquez go to jail in 2007.
And it was for code enforcement?
No, for driving with license suspended.
Really?
Because I failed to pay a traffic fine 3 times in less of 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
I
hate when they put people in jail for traffic violations.
But this is the funny part. It was because I don't pay my ticket or a broken windshield on time, because I burned 10 light on time, and I don't recall the third one. But the problem is the cars I was using no belongs to me. So
Oh my. Okay. Believe it or not, we're about to have our final break now.
okay.
It goes so fast. All right. Well, we'll be coming back. We'll talk about a couple of issues, but the most importantly, why you ought to vote for Jose Vasquez.
Yes, sir.
Excellent, very good.
Okay.
You're doing good.
That code enforcement thing is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they pick and choose and put a lot of.
The person who's in charge of that department right now is Kenny O'Connor. He was a former Tampa police officer. He retired.
With a smooth touch of jazz. You're listening to In Touch Radio.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here for you.
Hey, Sebring, Lake Placid, Frostproof, Haines City, and Lake Wales. This is Teresha Hardy. Come join me at Progressive Church of God by Faith on March the 4th, 12 to 4 p.m. at our Community Outreach Fair at 1111 South Carolina Avenue, Avon Park, Florida. We have free food, and free food. Some of our community partners are Veterans Affairs, Health Department, Career Source, and many, many more. For more information, call 910-308-3045.
What's that number again?
910-308-3045. Don't meet me there, but beat me there.
Lady during the week. And I have in the studio with me Mr. Jose Vasquez. He has put himself out there once again as your candidate for City Council in Tampa. All right, Jose, let's finish up with the code enforcement, because who is in charge of code enforcement right now in the city of Tampa?
Well, right now we got a gentleman calling Kenny O'Connor. And,
O'Connor, that name sounds familiar.
well, with my knowledge and investigation, the famous O'Connor lady who left the Tampa Police Department, the
Mary
chief.
O'Connor, who was
Correct.
our former police chief at this point. Is she related to him?
Yes, that's the husband.
That's her husband.
And for the record, he was the one who driving the golf cart.
The infamous golf court
Yeah.
incident. He was there too.
Yes, he's the one. Really, I don't understand that case, because when the police officer pull you over, they interview the driver. And in this case, the video is clear, like the driver never say a word.
Right.
He don't want to assume his responsibility as a former police officer. He know his fifth, but he let his wife do all this mess up.
He let the wife talk herself out of a job.
Exactly. The point is this: she resigned, and what the mayor of Tampa did, she promote Mr. O'Connor to a higher position, and I want to investigate that, because this is some.
What position?
Now I think from manager, now he's the director of the department.
He is now the director of
Code
code enforcement.
enforcement.
Boy, she sure loves those O'Connors.
Yeah, let me tell you this: when you breaking the law, okay, you raise somebody's position, and you create a loophole like you are not going to raise the money because you live outside the county. Hey, this is a mission about
They
something
also
corrupted.
do not live in the city of Tampa. They live
Yeah.
in Pinellas County.
And I want to investigate how much money they misusing when they were living outside the city of Tampa. Anyway, again, my name is Jose Vasquez. I'm a candidate for city council because I want to handle the mismanagement of the city of Tampa.
Now, you know what? One of your platforms is public safety, so I guess we could go straight into that.
Yes, we know in the black and brown communities, we're very affected in the way that public safety is improved in our areas. When we're talking about public safety, we're talking about the paramedics, fire rescue, police officers. We know and we need to recognize the labor of our city council goods on try to bring more police officers to the area, more paramedics, and more funding for we can have the essential team of first responders in the area. I'm a certified first responder, and for me that's something is very important. The city of Tampa is increasing very bad. We got people moving left and right.
So you're saying the population is growing and growing. So that puts more pressure
Yes.
on our firefighters, first
And-
responders.
In everything, I give you a sample. For example, let's say on this side of the town, 2,000 people moving to live in, and we got only 2 police officers. Guess what? These 2 police officers had to take care of 2,000 more people, 2 more thousand problems. And the same thing with the fire rescue. And I can tell you about all the problems we got. We got problems right now with the homeless in East Tampa. Why? Because the city of Tampa collect them around the city and they call a project, the whole project, and they deposit on East Tampa. It's insane in the way that they do in all these regulations. We know look out first the public safety of the residents of the city of Tampa. And I'm going to prioritize that.
Prioritize homelessness, affordable housing, and code enforcement. That is his platforms. We have a little bit of a sign you might see around Tampa. That's for Mr. Jose Vasquez.
Yes, that's my political sign. But at the same time, you see this sign is the one who is in English. Please turn around.
Flip it around.
It's in Spanish.
It's in Spanish. All right.
So I just do that to try to teach.
You know
my
what I like
colleagues.
about your sign is it says on there that you can early vote starting the 26th, I believe, of February, which we are in early voting right now.
Right now, the early voting beginning, and that's what I try to do. I just try to educate the people because the people from my community are persons who only get off and vote for years because that's what we learn in our cities and our countries outside the city of Tampa. And I try to motivate them to get off and vote. I want to say something more about affordable housing.
Okay, please do.
The city of Tampa, I tried to do something, come against them in the way they want to develop the affordable housing. And I'll tell you this, what is affordable housing? For you or for him? No, it's for me or for you.
That word affordable is really a big problem word right now because what is affordable to the average person?
Right now, the developments, they building properties over $150,000. So, hey, it's a house in Silver Spring to sell right now if you want for $250,000.
Yeah,
Right
now. $250,000 is not affordable for the average guy.
Well, right now, if you tell me, Jose, what we got to do, we need to come back to the basis. I remember back on 2000, 2004, we got so many trailer parks on this area on Hillsborough County. I understand the owners back on the day, they neglect the property and they had to demolish. But we come back to the same concept. You know how they call it now? Tiny houses.
Yeah.
So
A tiny house is a little bit different in that, it's a house
correct.
with plumbing, electrical, all that, but it's just small.
The same thing back in the 80s with the trailer parks.
That's true. That's true.
Well, if you tell me, Jose, what you can do for affordable housing, I want to create a real affordable housing. How? I want to create a concept that we can put all these tiny houses. Can we go to sell to the persons who qualify, and something you can pay between 7 to 10 years. That's affordable. If you tell me that can happen, of course. If you want to buy a $70,000 car and you go to the dealership and you give it a down payment and you can afford the $600 payment, you buy the car. We know that.
That's true. That's true. I mean, we don't need houses that takes 30 years to pay off. We need to get people a trailer, a roof over their head, anything. I agree with that.
And that's going to be a starting for young people. Why? Because that person got to pay that property between 6 or 7 years, maybe 10 years. And that person say, you know what? I'm happy married. I got 1 kid, 2 kids. Guess what? That person got to maintain that little property, resell to somebody who need that property, and use that money and credit to buy a bigger house.
Yes.
That person can buy.
And people take care of things where they have ownership.
Exactly. And we're talking about that's the way that we can teach our young generation, the one who are now homeless, to give it a chance to get his own roof, to be proud of a community they go to create.
And you got the working homeless now.
Hey, in the whole program, I can tell you, do you know how many people are working in Busch Garden and sleeping on that camp?
Okay, so the Hope Camp, I believe the Catholic the Catholic Ministries, I believe, is in charge of that, and they're doing what they can to get people out of homelessness into tents.
That's what the concept of. They don't have the complete function. They approached me because they wanted to find a solution, because they bring people who really have housing problems.
Yes.
They do not accept families. So if you have 1 child, this place is not for you. They bring people with drug problem, alcohol
Oh, I didn't
problems.
realize that a family can't go there.
No. And if you don't live in the city of Tampa, you cannot live over there either. They reject you. So that's wrong.
Really?
If you're homeless, you're homeless.
That's right.
And if you have a drug problem,
because the county doesn't have anything like that.
yeah. And if you have a drug problem or alcohol problem, I feel the city had to give you the resources for you get off of that habit, for you come back to be functional and resolve your housing problem.
I'll give them credit, because what they do is once the person is there, then they identify the problem and they try to get them help.
That's what they say, but that's what they don't do.
What?
And I can tell you with the statistics. I'm not talking for talk. I can show you the numbers. How many people is kick them out of the program because they have an alcohol problem. They cannot behave. Well, what program you give it to that person to get off of that issue? So it's a lot to talk, but that's the reason I'm running for city council.
Jose, this is your last minute to tell the people why they should vote for you.
Well, again, my name is Jose Vasquez, and I'm running for city council because I want to work to resolve the mismanagement of the city of Tampa. So please, if you have a housing problems, homeless issue, an income issue, problem with your kids, in the way that your community is target, please give me the opportunity to represent you in the city hall. I don't have a magic wand where I can run you. When I put my effort on correct the money code, you got to see how our directors, law enforcement, going to be acting better to the taxpayer of the city of Tampa. So please visit my website, www.josefortampa.com, and please, if decisions are made for those who show up and vote, I need you to show up and vote, for we can resolve the inconvenience we got on the community.
Okay, yay! March 7th. That is actually election day, but you can vote right now. Early voting.
Exactly.
Contact the supervisor of elections if you don't know where to vote.
Remember, if you're tired of the same, vote for Jose.
All right. Thank you for coming, Jose.
No, thank you for the invitation.